Greetings and salutations, fellow pioneers. So in our last episode of this playthrough of Satisfactory 1.1, we took a quick 3-month contract with Fixit. Got dropped, violently I might add, on some random planet, and then after building a starter factory, the big reveal was dropped on us that we were here to save the world.
It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fixit pioneers offer hope for survival. Fixit is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fixit down.
Obviously, after such a traumatic first few days, I'm suffering from a little bit of PTSD. So in today's episode, we're going to go ahead and address that as we get prepared for the main mega factory build that's coming soon. So sit on back, relax, grab some Fixit approved protein bars, and let's jump into it. Alright, so the first letter in our quest today, P, stands for power, and in this case, we need to go ahead first and unlock coal power, because this biofuel, it ain't cutting it.
Milestone reached. Power production can now be fully automated by burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner. Water is also necessary to run the coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a somewhat reflective liquid and it may have thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
Right, make sure there's coal nearby. 4, pure, normal. Alright, I want to save those normals for something else. I'm going to clear some space here. We got some water just there. And I think we can set up a coal power station right here. So let me just finish clearing and we'll get started. Okay there, so we've cleared the area. We are near the original base, as you can see over there. So it won't be a lot of hassle to link the power grids together. Going to lay out some foundations here so that we can set the coal power stations up. I like to have coal stations on grids. We've got room for 5, and I'll explain 5 in a little bit. Use H to nudge the stations into place, like thus.
Interesting, most pioneers already had coal power set up by this point, because they understood their responsibility to humanity. Adjusting pioneer attitude metrics. Reminder, coal-powered generators require coal.
Coal power generators require coal. Get a feeling that's an inside joke of some kind. Alright, I'm going to keep setting this up and I'll be back shortly. I've got my 5 coal stations down. Now I'm just going to get these water extractors built.
That may indeed be water. Try submerging your arm. If it does not dissolve, that will narrow down the range of possibilities. Or you could just pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens.
I sense Age is having a bad morning. What do you think? Right, next job is to put the other water extractor down and then hook up all the piping. Back in a minute. So I actually put the water extractor down near the coal, so I figured I might as well come hook the coal up as beastie. Hook the coal up as well. Beasties. Alright, so these are the 2 impure nodes. And again, I'll explain why I'm not using the normal node shortly. This is going to be slow to begin with. Well aware of that. But at least if I can get some coal going, that will give me some breathing room rather than running around constantly picking up more bio. So I'm going to combine the 2 coal nodes temporarily into one belt because they're impure. There's not going to be a lot coming out of them. Run over to the coal stations, put it into a storage unit. I'm going to try and get it across this water here, and then I'll spread it out to the 5 stations. It will mean that all the 5 stations aren't working to begin with, but at least then we're maximizing. There's my other water extractor right there. There's my piping that is going in from the water extractors. So there's going to be 2 water extractors going into 5 stations, and it actually will work. So we'll get the coal into the storage unit there, and then I need to divide them up. It's going to be 1 splitter, then there's going to be a second splitter going into 2. The middle splitter will go into the middle one, and then there will be a final splitter going into the right 2. And even though this is a temporary setup, I'm still trying to avoid spaghettification. So I'm going to weave and duck under pipes where I can. If it looks like spaghettification, I'll put some lifts here to try and avoid that. It's not going to be the prettiest thing, but again, it's a temporary setup for now, and I can come back and tidy it up once I get some more advanced piping. And the joys of setting this all up is trying to dodge under pipes and under belts and generally not getting myself trapped. So I'll finish hooking this up and then we'll see it up and running shortly, I hope. Alright, that's everything finally set up. So I've got water flowing into all 5 stations. There's enough water flowing into power all 5, but there's only enough coal going in to power 4 of these. So I'm going to switch those 4 on. I think we'll leave the middle one off for now until we can get some upgraded belts. We've got enough coming from the actual coal station, but the belts just don't have the capacity right now to feed. That's alright, because 4 should be more than enough to fulfill our power needs for the immediate future. Good. Alright, collect some more bio just out of habit. And now that we've taken care of the P in our PTSD, let's move on to the next part. Alright, so strictly speaking, when I say T, I actually mean C. C as in coupons, although you could say tickets. You know, it works both ways. And strictly speaking, we also did this before we did power. But, you know, CPSD doesn't have quite the same ring to it as PTSD does. Anyway, so what we are doing here is we're setting up a dedicated... somewhat symmetrical. We're setting up a dedicated coupon factory, and we're doing this using Caterium. Here's the setup I built just before we did the space elevator, but couldn't activate it at the time. So I'm going to go and we're going to use a MAM I placed here earlier to start unlocking Caterium, and I want to get to Caterium wire.
Research completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
Alright, so now we've unlocked the ingots, so we can go ahead and should be able to unlock the next piece, I believe. I don't want to necessarily sit here and wait to unlock it, so we can make it a little bit on the side, so be it. So there you go, we should now just be able to finish getting the last of the ingots together here, need 50. And then we'll be able to unlock Caterium wire in the MAM. Perfect.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
Quick wire, not Caterium wire. Get this going again. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to collect some of the quick wire, and I also want to obviously sink the rest. do with a little bit of storage here. Yeah, let's move this. So just putting a little bit of storage there in front of it. Right now it's not a problem, but thinking ahead, once I get faster wires, I might want to go ahead and have that quick wire going in a little more, plus I can get rid of the extra that I have. Yeah, always helps, doesn't it? Alright, there we go, we got coupons going. So that's going to allow me to generate some coupons for use in not only speeding other parts of this process up, but it's going to give me the coupons so when we start the mega build, we have some of the extra structural unlocks ready to go via the actual awesome sync shop. So, alright, we've got coupons going. That will run in the background now until we're ready to start the master build, and that just gives me a head start on that. Alright, so that part's done. Let's get some quartz while we're here. Let's head on back to the main base and then we can start the next part. Alright, the next letter in PTSD is S, and S stands for steel. So I don't like building my main factories until I get to at least tier 3 belts, and we're already seeing limitations from the existing tier 1s. Remember earlier when I said, hey, I've got beastie? I think? Maybe? No? So if you remember, I said I didn't want to go ahead and use the normal coal to begin with because I had something else in mind, and that other thing is steel production. So steel requires foundries, and that requires both iron and coal. And as steel is going to be the basics for my entire mega factory, at least to begin with, I want to make sure I'm using as much coal as possible. So to unlock that, I need to go ahead and at least get some steel going. So we're going to go put down 3 foundries. Give me a very, again, basic setup to begin with. And from the 3 foundries, we are going to make steel plates and steel pipes. And then once we have logistics level 3 unlocked, which we'll get via those pipes, we'll be able to start using those tier 3 belts. And that will be the catalyst to kick off the main mega factory build. So I'm just trying to, again, make this as tidy and de-spaghettified as possible. Foundries have 2 inputs. You've got the coal input and you've got the iron input. So I'm going to use 2 splitters, as you can see here. This might get a little bit spaghettified. Let's see if I can do it. 2 links to go ahead and produce the steel, which can then go into constructors. I already know that there is at least an iron, yeah, there is an iron node over there. I think it's normal. I'm only going to run 1 to begin with. I just want to get, of course it's too short. I only want to get logistics 3 going. I'm not going to go into mass production straight away because my power is still a little bit sussy. Once we get the tier 3 belts, we'll be able to increase the power, add some extra stations, and then I'll go ahead and add a second set of production here. So, again, trying to be respectful of my power, because power is always my downfall. Go ahead and pull this lot up. Jumping boost at some point. Yes, made it. So we'll get this hooked up to the power, and we'll be back in a minute when I show you everything running. And here we are. And while I was waiting for this to run, I also unlocked the big beastie basher, which is in my hand now. So I've got 3 constructors. 1 is producing pipes, 2 is producing steel plates, And we're just letting this run while I run around and collect some other items so that we get enough to unlock Logistics 3. Once we've got that, and I might go ahead and just fine-tune this a bit because I've got the pipes but I don't have the plates, we'll unlock Logistics 3 and then we'll go run around and do some upgrading. So I'll leave this like this once I've done these few alterations. But yeah, we're very close to unlocking Logistics 3 now, and then we can go ahead and move on to our final part. And here we are, Logistics 3, baby!
Milestone reached. Improved storage containers and the conveyor belt Mark III provide the obviously necessary tools for improving your current setup. Production speed is of the essence after all. So work hard. Work as if every person you have ever or will ever love is depending solely on the choices that you make. Because they are. Warning. Fix-it psychologists recommend not dwelling on the crushing mental and physical strain of your responsibilities and simply continuing to be productive. Hard work has repeatedly proven to be the best cure for any kind of stress. Now back to work.
So you heard it here first, folks. No need for those psychologists, no need for those pills. Hard work is the best cure for stress. Talking of stress, we got the final part to go. We got the D in PTSD. Let's jump into it. Alright, we're on the final part, D, and for this we're going to need some power. So as it's a bit of a run from the main factory, approximately 10 to 15 minutes, I decided as I was running over here to get the power running, because I hate running all the way back. Alright, we got some beasties down here, little spiders. Glad I got the big beastie basher. Full health, try to keep an eye on things here. I do not want to die, if possible, during this run through, so that's one of the goals. Nice, come on, got it. Alright. This will be useful later for the sink. Continue running power, and our objective, I should say, just over there, but there's one thing still standing in our way. Is it? Oh, it's here. If there's little spiders, there's always... There it is. Big beastie spider. Alright, we've got the big beastie basher, so let's see if we can do this without dying. I'd be very upset if we died to a single spider here. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. Excellent. Right. Mycelia here as well. Let's pick this up.
The fruit of this fungus-like flora does not seem to show much potential for use. However, its mycelial network is worth further investigation. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
I'll use some of that in a little bit. So this is why it was important for me to do the steel first. 15-minute run. I don't want to have to run all the way back here to go ahead and upgrade the speed on this. Power. I hope I don't blow a fuse. If I blow a fuse, I might mentally blow a fuse as well. Right.
The strange alien matter, colloquially known as SAM, seems to be in its dormant crystalline state, meaning it won't break down your body into its base atomic components on touch. This living matter is extremely versatile and has countless applications. Research it in the MAM to establish locally appropriate classification and application, as well as a secure method of awakening.
Got some SAM coming down. So the D in our little PTSD stands for depot, dimensional depot, which is what we're going to sit here and work on unlocking.
Strange alien matter analysis completed. Dormant crystalline SAM can now be found with the resource scanner. In its dormant state, it is safe to handle without special equipment and can be stored indefinitely. Research for enabling the reanimation of dormant Sam is now available.
Fill the rivers with blood and let the effigies defile our temples. The sun will follow.
Alright, I thought I needed a smelter here, but apparently not. I think it's a constructor in that case. Let's build that again.
Sam reanimation recipe unlocked. Sam can now be safely awakened, provided it is contained. Meaning, if not contained in special electromagnetic storage, it tends to start breaking atomic bonds of any matter it has physical contact with, and reconstructing it into easily transportable resources.
Scripture and blood compose harmony. Follow our hallowed temple halls and listen to the echoes of your ripples. Our bones are more beautiful than yours.
Alright, so I brought everything over to go ahead and unlock the dimensional depot. I've already got the pipes, I've already got the wire, so I'm going to work here on collecting everything I need to unlock the next stage. I'll be back in a minute. A little bit of tedious crafting here and we should be done. There we go. Alright, let's unlock it.
Dimensional Depot unlocked. SAM can be utilized to deconstruct matter down to its chemical elements in one dimension, and the Mercer sphere allows it to be transferred and stored in another. Once parts are fed into the Dimensional Depot, they can be accessed by the Pioneer inventory and build gun system at any time, anywhere.
We see through the window. It is pathetic. Consume more blood. The glass will not shatter, the metal will not bend, the wood will not splinter. Weave.
I'm frustrated with myself. Steel pipes, you see there. I set up the what do I need to unlock the dimensional depot and realised that I'm 2 steel pipes short. So yeah, pretty frustrated. I'm going to get some of this mycelia. I'm going to run all the way back to the starter factory, pick up the 2 missing steel pipes, drop this mycelia off, and then run all the way back again. So that's a 25-30 minute run. Yeah, I'll be back and we'll do the final unlock at that point. Alright, like 25 minutes later we're back. Picked up a few more things. Brought the pipes back. We just got the last of the equipment for the depot. And we are going ahead and we are loading. So the dimensional depot, when set up, allows for the loading of items being fed straight into it so that you can use it in your inventory. Pretty much critical for any large projects that you are working on and building. So I've got the necessary equipment to make more depots now feeding directly into that depot, so I shouldn't have to come back now until it is time to upgrade to minor 2s or until we need to go ahead and increase the loading time of our belts. Alright, so we have solved our PTSD. We now have coal power running, and we're going to hook that up to some tier 3 belts shortly. We've got our tokens, our coupons, now being made, ready to produce the extra parts we'll need for Mega Factory. We've got steel, which means we have a logistics 3, and we have tier 3 belts, essential because you don't want to try running a factory on a tier 1 belt. And then finally we have D. We have the first depot unlocked and load in the necessary required items so that we can make more depots, all of which will feed our basic materials in to speed up and really allow us to focus on the next video, which is going to be the beginning of the Mega Factory. So we will be back very soon with part 3, which is where, for me, the enjoyment really starts, the building of the Mega Factory. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll be back probably within a week. If you have enjoyed the video and like to fight the beastie, I think we'll try run away. Yeah, we'll run runway. If you have enjoyed the video, please go ahead, consider chucking me a like and subscribe. It lets me know people are watching and want to see the next installment. And the next installment, I promise you, this is where things start to get good. But in the meantime, hope you have a great day, and as this is a Friday that I am finishing the editing on, a great weekend, and I'll see you real soon. This is Rev, signing off.